Everybody to the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners weekly finance meeting. These have been going on for quite some time and address various, from various approaches, the ongoing and seemingly endless battle between costs and revenues for the county. One of the key findings on the PFM studies that have been at the core of a lot of these meetings is the need to increase revenue, and a lot of that comes from further economic development. So we have here today with us our friends and colleagues from PETA, who are going to provide their quarterly update. So take it away.
My name is Ashley Kurtz, and I am the promotions manager with PETA. I came today so I can speak to you about our grant program. We are entering the 6th cycle of our program, and it's something that we're very proud of. I wanted to go ahead and start with a quote that I think does a really good job summarizing how we handle our grants. That is, an entrepreneur without funding is a musician without an instrument. The reason that we use this is we found in our 2012 branding survey or study that our visitors are very passionate collectors. They're coming for outdoors, history, and car shows, but they're also enjoying other attractions like family fun, events, performing arts. Part of what the draw is of our attractions is they're authentic. They are run by passionate people. Unfortunately, this also means that most of these passionate people are volunteers, they're nonprofits, or they're friends groups that don't necessarily have the funding to take their enthusiasm and their knowledge and make it a real thing as far as a project or a deliverable. The purpose of our grant is to take the time and knowledge and enthusiasm of these partners and pair it with our expertise and our funding so that we can create projects that enhance the visitor stay of the visitors that are coming to see us and also attract new visitors to our area. A brief overview. Our first grant cycle was in 2010. Since then, we have had 84 applications. 51 have been funded. That is almost 61%. We have provided over $260,000 in direct funding, which equals $860,000 in project totals. This is wonderful for our local community. One of the things we ask all of our grantees is they at least consider and get quotes from local vendors for services and goods that they're ordering. We don't require them to use it, but we do make them make the effort to at least look in our local area. Some of the projects that we have funded include the 3 major categories of signage, brochure, and product development. We do have 10 available tracks that people can choose for their grant funding, that these are the 3 most popular. For signage, we've had 23 applications that resulted in over 100 signs in our communities. These include interpretive, place of business, or directional. The 15 projects for brochures have yielded over 20 brochures. Some of those are promoting a business that maybe didn't otherwise have the funding to make a brochure, or a self-guided walking tour, or a historical background on a historical attraction that somebody is coming to see. For product development, 2 of the projects I wanted to touch on briefly. We provided some of the seed money for the Plein Air Arts Festival, which is happening, I believe next weekend will be its next cycle. That's something in our local community that's been very successful. Also the Cumberland Valley Race Series, which was a partner coming to us and taking all of the foot races that are already happening and trying to brand as many of them as they can under one umbrella in a point series so that we can have those visitors that are coming for one race hopefully come back for more, encouraging repeat visitation.
Is there a match on any of the grants?
Yes, there is a half match. Our applicants are able to request $25,000 in funding. For that project level, they would need to provide $12,500 in matching funds. So for every dollar that we give them, we expect they put 50 cents into the pot. This year is our largest grant funding pot available of $100,000. That is up from $75,000 last year. We have 10 marketing and capital improvement project categories that our partners can apply within. This year, we're making it easier to apply. We've done this by reformatting our application to ask more straightforward and simplistic questions. We've also created an additional form for partners that are asking for less than $2,500. So that form is about half the size of the form for $2,500 or more in grant funds, just to make it more simple and to take out some of the questions that maybe didn't apply. Those projects requesting $2,500 or less are usually going to be for brochures or maybe a sign or something pretty simple and straightforward. All of the information is online. There is also a very brief overview on this little card that I handed out. The front has, like I said, very brief overview of the cycle, and on the back is all of our events coming up through the remainder of the year. $25,000 isn't always enough for some of our partners and what they're doing, so we do also have the Tourism Infrastructure Loan Fund. This was established by our organization and also administered by CAIC. To date, we've had 3 projects come through this, including Ship and Place, Rich Valley Golf for their mini golf course, and for the Comfort Suites. There is a URL if you're interested in learning a little bit more. It wasn't the focus of today, but I did want to mention it for those grantees that are looking for a bigger project. We do have other options to help them reach their goals. And if there's no questions, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Valerie Copenhaver. She is our Director of Marketing and will be talking on some of our marketing updates.
Good afternoon. Just to tie back on what Ashley was talking about, Commissioner Cross, since you asked about the match, we aligned our grant with the South Mountain Partnership mini grant as their winners out there. So people can use the South Mountain Partnership grant or ours as a matching fund. So just wanted to mention that.
What's the average amount of the grant? You said there's 50-some organizations that have been awarded over $260,000 in funding. I mean, what's the average?
I'm not sure about the average. I would say the majority of them were smaller grants.
Okay.
Until last year, the maximum request was $10,000, and then last year it changed to $25,000.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of skew in the numbers, but I'd be happy to go back and run the numbers. and
That's
figure
all right.
it
I'm just
out.
kind of curious. You say most of them are smaller. What
Most of them
are we
are.
talking about smaller?
Most of them are probably 5,000 or less. It just
Okay.
depends on the project. We have funded a lot of brochures, and those come in
Yeah.
at a very low cost point. But we have also funded some larger projects. So it's a little bit all over the board, mostly with the smaller applications.
Well, you said most of the projects are like signage or brochures and that kind of thing. So I would expect that the grants would be relatively not that large.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Typically in a grant cycle, we have about 10 grants that we award.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, marketing. I'm going to give you a snapshot of some of the tools that we're using to market our destination and also to market Caden. Something that you were handed today, this is the Cumberland County report. It's distributed by Central Penn Business Journal, and we sponsored the Cumberland County report. And what that got us was our logo on the front, a 2-page spread, and centerfold, and then an opening letter from Jonathan. Our annual report, most of these you probably already received, but our annual report, the purpose for that is for us to show the value to our community and also to illustrate who we are and what we're doing. Our Ag Guide, this is our 3rd edition, and we worked with Cumberland County Planning Department to put this together. It's all of our local food, farm, and outdoor attractions for the county. The Tavern Tour brochure, which you see up there, we worked with Cumberland County Historical Society to produce that, and that complements our other historical self-guided walking brochures. For the Ford and Corvette shows, we produce literature and posters. The literature is distributed in the Carlisle Events bags and also in their Gate and Go. And then the posters are distributed downtown, so when people are coming into the town for the shows, they feel like they're more a part of the community, and we're welcoming them, and also telling them the things that are going to be open while they're here. We'll be working on a fishing, fun, and cycling rack guards this summer, and we'll also be distributing or producing our Cumberland Valley map sometime third quarter. Our 2015-2016 guide, it's a 2-year guide. This year, the difference is no longer folded, it's flat, and we have 2-sided, it's a flip guide. The purpose for this is that when you're in Cumberland County, Cumberland Valley, you know that you're here, or you might not know that you're in the county, but you know which town you're in. So when people see a town, they'll know they can pick up this guide. The other side is more stories, trying to entice people to come to Cumberland Valley. They might not know about us, but the stories will entice them to find out more and come visit. We distribute the visitor's guide to over 400 locations around the county with our part-time distribution assistants. And then also the turnpike, plazas, the rest stops, and a few other key locations around the area. Our new CAVE website launched on April 14th, and the purpose for the CAVE website is to be a place for businesses looking to move to the area, a resource for businesses looking to move to the area, or for businesses that are already in the area looking to move or expand. One of the features that's new to the site is our site selection tool. And the site selections tool is available buildings and sites within the county. Another really great feature for all of our communities at a community level or a county level, we now have an infographic which has has labor force, it has demographics, consumer spending, workforce for each individual municipality and at the county level. We receive monthly and weekly hotel trends from Smith Travel and Research, and they are the leading authority on hotel industry performance trends. We receive these trends on a monthly and weekly basis, and the statistic that is most meaningful to hoteliers, because it shows the growth in both occupancy and rate, is revenue per room, or RevPAR, as you see it up on the screen. In March, we were the third highest occupancy, and had the third highest occupancy in the region, next to Lancaster and Dauphin. And our year-to-date, we had a great first quarter, achieving the highest year-to-date occupancy since 2009. With our weekly trends, we're able to see daily statistics. So we were able to see in February that the West Shore properties did really well. They had a room revenue up 16.9%, and their RevPAR was at 9.9%. And we were able to see that on the weekend of the Great American Outdoor Show, that that's where they had the increases. Likewise, for our car shows, we're able to see during the weekends for our car shows that there is a slight increase in occupancy and RevPAR. We're contracting with the same organization that did our branding study in 2010 to do consumer research, and that's Northstar out of Tennessee. We're doing a perception study. It's going to be online based. And we're going to be looking at why people are traveling to the area. We're also going to receive ROI for how our marketing is doing, some trip characteristics, and media placements that people are finding our information so that we can then place our media there. And we hope to have the results sometime in the early fourth quarter. Color Vibe is returning this year. It's going to be at East Pennsboro's Adams Rickey Park, and it's on August 15th, starting at 9. We partner with East Pennsboro Township, East Pennsboro Parks and Recreation, and Friends of Recreation at East Pennsboro Park. We're expecting, last year we had about 3,000 plus participants, and we're hoping to get even more this year on the West Shore. And to register, colorvibe.com. Found It on the Green is our annual golf tournament. It's going to be held at the Carlisle Country Club on September 14th, and shotgun starts at noon. Sponsorship opportunities are available. American Craft Week, I want to thank you for designating October 2nd through 11th American Craft Week, making that an official week. That's really been a powerful statement as we're going out and speaking to, talking to all of the businesses, trying to get them to participate in American Craft Week. We've been out in the town trying to get businesses to participate, because the more businesses that we can get participate, the more that we'll be able to put behind it, to promote it, and make it a really successful event. Our annual tourism conference is November 4th, and the theme is storytelling. Storytelling, no matter what business you are in, is a really powerful way to engage customers, visitors, partners, to be able to entice them and to get them to understand what they're trying to communicate. So that's going to be November 4th, and we look forward to seeing all of you.
The hotel numbers that you had, are they very different than the ones I saw that morning at the breakfast and the lunch? You know, your round table lunch that was like the park in. Are they pretty much trending?
The numbers that we showed then, you wouldn't have seen this far out, but they're still trending. They're increasing.
Really significant then, and I can't remember when that round table was. I'm looking at your calendar. It must have been April. Maybe it was March.
I think it was in March, and so we
Okay.
only were able to show you January and February, maybe even just January.
Well, all those trends were up then, so the year-to-date hasn't done
No,
anything
it's
but
still,
continue to go up.
it's still increasing,
Okay.
yes, and even just the fact, I'm sure that RevPAR has also increased since 2009, but I didn't have that really available. But occupancy has increased, and it's been the best occupancy since 2009. That's a really big statement.
Okay. I just want to make sure that it was kind of what I
still
saw.
going up.
It's still going up.
Thanks.
If my memory serves me correctly, it's something like 1.4 million overnight stays in the Cumberland Valley. Okay. And you say that number continues to go up.
Yes. Yes. Sure does.
It's really hard to believe. Yeah. People, 1.4 million people overnight staying here in Cumberland County.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a lot of-
combination of
visitors.
business
Right.
visitors and leisure
And Fort Yard's not
visitors.
open yet. Shippensburg,
Mhm,
there's
so
a variety of properties
The
not
more
yet
hotels,
open.
that's right, and as more hotels open, all of those numbers are just gonna continue to increase.
Isn't it a Holiday Inn right in Shippensburg?
The Holiday Inn, yeah, it's, I
One
think
up,
it's started.
Yeah, it's
The
like
one-
going up like that.
I think they'll be open by the end of summer.
There's about 6 to 8 hotels, on the horizon. Some have started, but some are just in planning stages. It's about 800 to 900 additional rooms
I
that
was
will be
really
added
pleased
to
to
our
see the
inventory.
investment somewhere, it was online for the Embers, that apparently is going to be addressed, revitalized, remodeled, whatever. That property is, a pretty significant acreage, and then just simply the anchors sort of along that strip there, coming off the turnpike, coming off of 81.
Yeah, that would be an exceptional, attribute to have.
Could be.
Good.
We hope. We hope.
Thank you. Now Jonathan's going to present.
Alrighty, good afternoon. Just have a few slides here focusing more on our military efforts as that becomes increasingly important as we gear up for a potential 2017 BRAC. What we put here on the slide was just the mission statement for the local defense group. Our 4 strategic focus areas are retention of military bases, enhancement of military bases, expansion, and then also greater military community partnerships. Then you'll see there on the next one is just our upcoming events. So we have a military appreciation night at Harrisburg Senators. So we've partnered with them to recognize our retired and our active military They'll have little baseball cards that evening with the folks that have been nominated to be recognized for that particular evening. And then we'll talk a lot about our 3 bases, the impact of our 3 bases on the community, but then also more importantly to the military. So that should be an exciting night, June 13th, and I think the start time is about 6 p.m. It's a Saturday. If you actually would like to attend, or if you know anyone that would like to attend, I would ask that you go to the website, and then there's a code, and I can't remember what the code is at the moment. I think it's military. To where for every ticket that's sold using that code, $4 comes back to the local defense group to continue to support our efforts. And then also, we're going to sponsor the 8th annual membership dinner at USA Hack. We're going to sponsor the reception component of that particular dinner. Again, it's just all about awareness, getting our message out, and making sure that we're staying active in the community. Year to date since 2014, when we started, we created 2 subcommittees. One is the outreach subcommittee, and one is the strategic planning subcommittee. With the outreach subcommittee, the focus there is to outreach to the community, outreach to DC, outreach to our elected officials, to make sure that we're staying in front of all of our key stakeholders so that they are aware of what we're doing. We also have a strategic positioning subcommittee. That subcommittee's focus is predominantly right now is looking to hire a consultant that is going to work on a SWOT analysis for us. So within that SWOT analysis, we're really going to be focusing on what are our strengths, what areas are we vulnerable, and what are our opportunities to grow our military presence here in Cumberland County.
As part of that, is that going to focus in on the additional capacity that's available in our facilities?
Correct. So we're going to also do a joint land use study along with the SWOT analysis. And we're going to look not only inside the fence, but outside the fence. And what I mean by that is there available land that could better complement, support, add on, enhance the activities that are currently happening at the base. So that will be part of that study.
The reason I bring that up is because I think that, our United States congressmen and the 2 United States senators, when we get around to this point, if they bring it up in terms of consolidation, that, we ought to be focusing on, they should be making a merit-based case to consolidate, elsewhere and expand, or expand here.
Sure.
Consolidate and expand here. Because I think of the many attractions that our area has, compared to other areas. So I think it makes sense from a cost-effective point of view. And so that's one of the things I think we need to hone in on with our military leaders is to, what capacity do we currently have available that's not being used, that could be used if they downsize elsewhere, consolidate and expand here. That's kind of what I'm focused on. And when is I'm supposedly on the outreach committee.
Correct.
I don't know that we've had any meetings yet.
We haven't had any meetings since that last meeting you attended.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
So is the strategic planning subcommittee is supposed to be working on the material that we're supposed to have then for the outreach committee?
Correct.
Okay.
That's the intent. We interviewed two firms that have a very strong military planning background last week, and we plan to decision on which one to move forward with probably the next 2 weeks. Once we get them on board, there'll be a series of stakeholder engagement meetings. There'll be data collection, so we're looking to work with our colleges and universities to gather some of the data. Dickinson's worked with the barracks in the past. Sippensburg has worked on some of the other bases and also Messiah. So we're going to use our local resources we have here to make sure that we're gathering all the data to be able to provide that over to the group that we end up contracting with. But to your point about seeing how we can enhance our bases by attracting other missions and workloads, I don't think it's a secret that the military wants to consolidate all of their war colleges into one. Right now, each division has their own, and there's a strong push to either put that one war college either in Kansas and or down in DC in the Beltway. So one of the things that we want to focus on early in our efforts is to position Cumberland County to be that location to potentially attract, if that ever does happen, when they consolidate all the war colleges into one. And that's where a lot of our resources and our time will be spent, at least early on, is trying to position ourselves to be able to do so. As we hear of other opportunities, whether it's within DLA or with the Navy support activity in Mechanicsburg, we'll be looking for those opportunities as well. And that's what makes that joint land use component of what we're looking to do even more important, is because that'll help us identify where the opportunities will be to be able to attract those additional missions. So it's a big part of it. Already touched on the military planner. So again, we anticipate on having someone on board here in the next couple of weeks, and our expectations and what we're projecting at this point is to be able to have a finished product in the spring of 2016 that then we would make available to the public. So that's our timeline. It's tight, but it's something that we feel as though we need to be able to start to push that along. State level advocacy, we recently met with our Cumberland County delegation to bring them up to speed on what we've been doing since 2014, and then also ask for their support for the first time within the military. Resources that have been available at the state level, they've been predominantly through a general fund within the Department of Community and Economic Development. So, state budget passes, the money's been kind of allocated, appropriated for military use, and then there always seems to be a little bit of a toggle as to, can you actually get the money out to be able to use it. So what Governor Wolf has proposed in his budget for this year is to make a BRAC allocation appropriations line right in the budget, so the money's there and the intended use for the money can be spent expeditiously versus the process that we currently go through now. So that's something that as an organization we support. Out of the proposed $775,000 in the 2015-16 budget, $200,000 would directly go to support our 3 installations here in Cumberland. So that's an extremely important line item for us to advocate for as we go to state budget.
Jonathan, is the Lieutenant Governor heading up that statewide BRAC commission? Do you know?
Yes, they had an all-site meeting actually a few weeks ago, actually here in Cumberland out at King's Gap. So it was his first meeting as co-chair. They also just recently appointed a new senior military official as well. I cannot remember the gentleman's name at the moment, but so those are the
who's
two.
the other other than the lieutenant? Who's the other co-chair?
The senior military.
Okay.
And they just, I think they just appointed him in the last couple of weeks, but I can't remember his name right now. So those are the 2 co-chairs that we were waiting for to move forward at the state level. Future funding, again, our future funding would be based on the SWOT land use analysis. Some of our priority projects, again, is to have that 3-year strategic plan. We want to look at some engineering design and land acquisition costs in and around the Carlisle Barracks. And then also we would like to invest in some RAC software for economic modeling. So that it would give us the ability to be able to look at different economic models for if we were able to attract additional missions workloads, and or if one of the bases unfortunately closed, to be able to give us some analysis of what would be the highest and best use and what would that look like. So we want to be able to invest in that software as well. Economic impact of installations, I'm sure you've seen a lot of these numbers before. By far, the NSA has the most employees here in the county with about 4,200. economic data shows they have about 330,000 in payroll. They do about 130 million in contracts. And a lot of those contracts are to local contractors, so it has a huge impact in our county. The War College and Barracks, they have about 165 million in annual payroll and contracts, and about 54% of the households earn 100,000 or more. And that's just considering government pay. And then with DLA, they have about 191 million in total economic impact. And that was in fiscal year 14. You see the breakdown there as far as construction, utility, and operating supplies. And another big piece of this for DLA is where you see people, their workforce, and where they're living at. The majority of the workforce actually does come out of Dauphin at 39%, Cumberland's at 30%, York, predominantly Northern York is 17%. And then you see the other ones there. So one of the things that we have done is a lot of our outreach has not only been here in the county and in the state, federal levels, but we've also visited our other commissioners in Dauphin and York as well, and asked for their continued support in our efforts. As you can see, a lot of their constituents, a lot of their citizens working on installations that we have here. And with that said, that's all we have. So, are there any questions you may have? All right.
Thank you much. Anybody? You guys? Strong sound type again?
This one know what SWAT is.
Someone else asked me that the other day, and I always
Weaknesses,
say,
opportunities, and threats.
there you go.
Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.